What's up, everyone? Welcome. It's another, I don't know what it is. It's another day in paradise, really. I'm going to be drawing, what's his name? It's a character. No, it's not a character. Paul Gray. Someone asked me to do Paul Gray. This character from, okay, it's not a character. Well, he plays a character, but we'll see what happens. Paul Gray from Slipknot. This is going to be a little bit challenging. It's just going to be challenging. It's been a minute since I've drawn. And oftentimes what I find when it's been, I don't know, when it's been a little while since I've done any drawing, there is a bit of a, learning curve. And so what I'm going to do is just going to kind of, I don't know, we're just going to kind of move around and then hopefully I'm able to rally the drawing forces, whatever you would like to call it, but I'd like to rally the drawing forces and maybe gather some sort of win. What's going to be challenging for this is the source that I'm using is, it's kind of like, it's a real photo of a person, but at this point, I'm trying to think about how much of that realism I want to capture. I have roughly 45 minutes to an hour, and that could reflect what I'm going to accomplish. I also feel like because of the Halloween, the animated or the way that the character or Paul Gray is portrayed in this as a Slipknot, musician. I don't know if I want to make it real, if that makes any sense. Another thing that I'm struggling with is the camera. I didn't really take I didn't really factor in the camera today, and so the camera is kind of in my face. I don't know, just not feeling it. I hate saying that type of phrase, I'm not feeling it today, and I really am not. I didn't want to draw, actually. I'm sounding super motivating, that's for sure. Oh my goodness, I just haven't had enough coffee to kick in. Started drawing a little too early. Normally I'm up for about an hour or so before I even begin this idea of drawing, and I was only up for about 30 minutes, and now here I am deciding to do a drawing, and I really don't think I'm going to get it today. I don't think I have it in me at the moment to really, I don't know. I don't think I have it today. It's not going to happen. I'll have a drawing, if that makes any sense. I'll have a drawing, but it won't meet my standard. I think what I should have did, I think the mask is throwing me off. I didn't spend enough time messing around with structure. And perhaps I should have did something like that. Perhaps what I should have done is maybe have made a kind of Riley head type of construction type thing, or a Loomis head type thing, where I can kind of see where things are placed. But here we are, basking in our mistakes. Actually, I'm basking in mine. Ah, man, a tooth bulk. Yeah, was it? Who's that character? Kyle from South Park. You know, I get a lot of people asking me to draw their avatars, and I write the screen name down and I just forget about it. And then I search the screen name again, and I don't know which screen name it is because I'll get a list of similar screen names, and I'm like, did I write the screen name down correctly? You know? And hey, how you doing this morning? And so I just kind of I just typically don't do them, not because I don't want to, it's just because I have so many requests for to draw things that when I think I'm just not getting this cheek. It's all down to this cheek. How's this cheek? It's all down to this cheek. It's all down to the angle of the bottom of the chin, of which, here's the thing, I can't see what's happening underneath. All right here. I don't know what's happening right here. I can barely see what's happening. And the problem with photos, the biggest problem with photos is if you're not getting all the information, you're making things up. So I don't know where the bottom of where his chin begins. You know, I can see a little bit to give a hint, but I don't know I don't know definitely. I don't know definitely where his chin begins and ends. So that's going to be a problem because it's all in cast shadow. When you have things on cast shadow from a photo, it becomes very difficult. If you have things in cast shadow when you're drawing in real life, you don't have that problem because you can go towards that object and look at that object. Home Depot, man. Woo! Early times. So they can look at that object. But when you're looking at a photo, see, I don't know how I want to pursue this character. I don't know this drawing of this person. I don't know what level of detail I want to draw. Honestly, I wish they sent me a picture of what's this guy's name again? Paul Gray as a cartoon, and I would have drawn him as a cartoon. But all I got was his realistic image. It's just photos of him, you know? So I wish I knew how his mask looks. So I'm trying to make it I'm trying to guess here. But right here is really throwing me off. I don't know how big this fake mouth thing is. Lots of things are throwing me off. And when you're drawing and you have a lot of things throwing you off, those compound to a poor drawing. That's just what's going to happen. Actually, here's the funny thing is I knew when I was looking at my art request list, I was like, I knew that I shouldn't have picked this guy. I shouldn't have. I wasn't ready. I wasn't mentally ready. I knew that I didn't know the character, but I knew it was I know I know the band Slipknot, but I also knew that I really wasn't interested in drawing a realistic. I wasn't interested in drawing realism. Let's just put it this way. I wasn't really interested in doing that. And sometimes, even though art can be, sometimes you have to treat art as non-emotional, and you have to treat art as like this thing where you just do, and you try to separate the way you feel from doing it. Sometimes, not always, especially for me. I just don't feel like doing it. Not really interested. So I don't know what's happening to this left side of his face here. All I know is I think I'm giving way too much real estate here. I think I might be undervaluing some stuff. I don't know what kind of information, what I want to do as far as details. And honestly, I'm not looking, if that makes any sense. I'm not observing the object as much as I'd like to. And that is a problem when you're drawing. It can be a huge problem when you're drawing and if you're not observing, oh my gosh. If you're not observing and you're not paying attention, your drawing will fail. And that's what's happening today. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if we can rally up something of value, I guess. Something that turns out to be okay. We'll see. And I think it's okay. I'm struggling with like certain shapes. I know that. I'm struggling with like this side of his cheek. I don't know what's happening on this side of his cheek, so I'm just trying to figure out what's happening on this side of his cheek. I'm just trying to figure out like what way is the best avenue. And hopefully I can get something out of it. I don't know. Sometimes, though, just taking action is the best choice. Sometimes just making decisions, whether they're correct, or proper, or whether the correct action is better than just, I'm not going to make any decision because I don't know where to go with the drawing. Because that's me almost 80% of the time. Like, I don't know where to go with the drawing. And if I let that kind of stop me, I'd be in deep trouble. I'd be in some deep trouble. Anyways, I don't know what's happening on the side of his cheek here. Like, this whole area is a cluster. It's got a lot of mistakes. It is what it is. So let's go ahead and just start by going on top of it with like some black pen, and maybe that might solve some issues. Maybe it might not. I don't know. And we'll just go on with black pen for like 30 or 40 minutes and then call it a day. Because there's a lot happening here. And sometimes you just have to kind of just go for it. And go for it indeed. The mask really is really throwing me off. That's for sure. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and say, oh, it's because I'm not doing too well. I was gonna say like the mask has some issues. Like, it's so simple. When you're drawing stuff and you have things like shapes that are simple, but the shapes that are simple are also very specific, and you're trying to capture a likeness of something, a person, place, or thing, and the shapes of that person, place, or thing are very simple. If that shape that you've drawn is off by a little bit, it distorts the entire drawing. So, like, what I'm noticing is right now, the gap between the eye right here and here, I made that too wide. Now, I don't know how much closer I can go in the context of my drawing. So I'm going to have to shrink that in. Now look at that. Now I have this mark that I made right there. I can't erase that. That is there forever. I was merely showing that to you to point out what I'm seeing that is wrong in my drawing. I don't know if this is correct. Another thing that's making this drawing difficult for me is the fact that the head is a slight tilt, and it's not face forward, so it's not a full 3/4 view. It's it's a slight. The head is slightly tilted, but also the head is slightly looking away from the viewer, so it's not a 3/4 view. So it's just a slight tilt of the axis of the face. And that slight tilt is very important, because if you're off a little bit, it's off a lot. And it affects your drawing. Small things compound that will affect your entire drawing. Now, I will say that I probably should have went slower. I probably should have went a lot slower. But I was worried that if I went a lot slower, I wouldn't get the drawing done. And perhaps what I need to start doing is not worry on whether or not I get the drawing done. Perhaps I should practice the idea of getting the drawing set up properly every time, so that when I do have the time to work on a drawing, it will look better. And that's something I struggle with all the times. Like, well, I don't have a lot of time to work on this. And I know to me personally, as an artist, as someone who sees things, as someone who's waking up, I know personally what I'm going to be struggling with. I already knew that this was going to be a drawing that I'd have a little bit of a problem with, because of the way that I see things. I see things a certain way. And if I don't see landmarks, or if I don't see things on the drawing that are very prominent that I can use as a strong basis for the drawing, I am going to struggle. Now, you might be wondering, what are landmarks? Well, landmarks are prominent features on a person, place, or thing of an object, of that thing that you're drawing, that you can make visual relationships to. You can simplify. You can understand and simplify. Now, that might be foreign to you, because from my understanding, the way it works is the way people draw, the way people show, and the way people render and model form varies from person to person. You can I can show you, case in point, like, if you draw a car, some people will draw a car starting out making blocks. And then some people will draw a car starting out making like oval and circular forms, and if now no two ways are better. No way is more superior than the other. It all depends on the individual. Some individuals can see on a car circular forms better than angular cube-like forms. And then some people see cube-like forms on an object that may be leaning heavily in like as a more curvilinear shape. Even though the object feels more curvilinear, this specific individual might see objects more as angles. And that depends on the individual. Individuals see things differently. Now, I know when I started drawing this, I was like, oh my gosh, there's not a lot for me, the way that I see things, for me to work with. The head's at a slight tilt. As I said, I don't know what's happening underneath the chin. That's a big problem. That's a big problem for me. Is like, what's happening underneath the chin? What's happening underneath, whatever it is. There's a lot of things happening that I don't understand at this point, or I can't see. And that is fine, but it makes for a challenging drawing. And that's okay. It's okay to have a challenging drawing. Now, I don't know about you. It is definitely not okay, in my opinion, to have a challenging drawing while you're doing a live stream. It makes things worse. It makes things the worst. It makes things difficult. Just makes things overall not very fun when you're having a little bit of a challenge when you're drawing. Now it just feels like I'm drawing Jason from Friday the 13th, I think. Friday the 13th movies. So next time I do these characters, I'm going to have to like sit down. Now what's happening? So what's happening on this chin here? I can't tell. I can barely tell, but it feels like his chin moves down a little bit, and then there's a little bit of this. At first glance, I thought the chin was like flat like that, but it feels more like it does something like this, and then maybe tilts just a little bit. I can't tell. There's the way that there's not a lot of depth underneath his chin because there's a lot of shading, a lot of shadow happening over here. Anyways, it happens to the best of you, but best of us. So, I mean, what are you going to do? And it just happens. It might even be best to just like treat it as just a dark mass. I might be better off just not worrying about these details because there's so much like it's just all dark. It's all cast shadow. It's all cast shadow. And so if it's all cast shadow, let's just leave it like that. And maybe we don't even worry about the form. We just like make it one giant mass, just make it one giant mass. And then we'll move from there. Because underneath right here, like it's literally all shadow. Now I'm trying to go really quickly, and perhaps I shouldn't have done that because I have like 30 minutes. So I have a lot of time left. So I can really play around with the shadow or make this cast shadow more, this like just more cast shadowy, And perhaps that's what I'll be spending a lot of my time doing, is just really getting this cast shadow in. So I think I'll do that. I'll work on the cast shadow for a while and then see what happens. But I already know I messed up so much on this, and it's okay. I'm a little rusty. I haven't done a live stream in a while. And dude, I suck at keeping schedules. Oh gosh, I suck at keeping a schedule. I really do. I try my best. I try to maintain a schedule, and then like I go to bed like 1 hour late or 2 hours later one day, and then I go to bed an hour late or 2 hours or 3 hours later the next day, and then all of a sudden I can't keep a schedule anymore. I'm like, I'm tired. I sleep in. And I sleep in, and then all of a sudden, here I am a week later, I haven't done any drawing, haven't done any live streams, haven't done anything of like value, like anything. I haven't done anything art related, and all of a sudden, like I feel bad about myself. Feel like I've been failing myself. Feel kind of like a loser. You know, it's weird. It's weird. Like I feel more like a loser if I don't draw than when I look at my bank account. You know, I'm like, oh man, I don't have a lot of money in my bank account, but man, I did not draw this week. I feel like a loser. You know, a lot like there. Yeah, you always see these. Oh gosh, I hate it. I hate like all the TikToker and YouTube people that they flash their money left and right. I'm like, man, just stop, man. It's so annoying. You can't relate. You can't relate to like your audience. You know, you don't understand. You're like, you literally don't understand. And like, so I just I feel like a loser as a person if I don't get a bit of drawing in, and it kind of sucks. I feel like I failed myself as a person who wants to get better or just wants to like just create something, to do something with my time that is of value. I feel like if I don't do a little bit of drawing, this is not going to turn out well. I already know. If I don't do a little bit of drawing, I feel very, I just don't like it. I just don't feel proud of myself. I feel like I let myself down all the time. You know, I don't like that. I don't like that feeling of not accomplishing things, you know. And it's okay from time to time. You know, sometimes you need a break, right? But man, there's those days where you're like, why haven't I done anything at all? And there's this phrase, like, a thing that's in motion stays in motion, and then when you stop, an object that's not in motion stays not in motion. So like what you have to do, unfortunately, is like when you're an artist or if you're trying to achieve things, or like you're trying to like just be creative and make things and stuff like that, you almost have to just like be in motion, whatever or not that you're creating that from that motion is good. You know, you're not always going to make beautiful works. It's not always going to happen. You're not going to make masterpieces every day. You know, matter of fact, like most of them won't be masterpieces. Most of them are going to be like kind of garbage, right? And we got to like stamp down on that expectation that everything that we make is going to be good, you know, and great. And that's what we got to do, is we just got to push that expectation of like what is good and what's bad, and just go from there. But yeah, and it's hard to do that. It's hard to remove yourself from those expectations, you know? It really is. I will give you that. And yeah, it's really hard to free yourself of like these expectations that you may or may not put on yourself, you know? And the thing is, you just gotta give yourself a little bit of forgiveness, I guess. A little bit of grace. And that's hard too. It's hard to do that. So we're like, just like life can be really hard, you know, doing things that you're not familiar with. Every day is almost like a new experience, a new challenge. That's interesting in itself, I guess. Okay, so I think we're getting somewhere. It's not where I want it to be, but we're getting somewhere with it. You know, and that's okay. It's getting somewhere. It's not where I want it to be. you know, I don't really think it's a great drawing, but it's not I was worried that it'd be really bad, but I think I was able to kind of dial it in a little bit and make it feel a little bit more, just work a little bit better, you know? And so I think that's making me feel a little bit more at ease. At first, I was like, "Oh no, this is gonna be a challenge." Already, I can feel like I'm gonna be struggling with this one, and I was, and still am, but I don't have that uneasy feeling like I did earlier. And I think because I've laid out some value tones in here that make it feel a little bit more solid, just a little bit stronger as a drawing, but nothing fantastic. There's a lot going on that's wrong with it, but I don't want to jinx it, you know? So I'm just going to go with the flow and then spending these next 28 minutes just kind of working on it, and that's really all that matters. 28 minutes, and then after that, I'm done. It'll be 7 o'clock in the morning, and I think that'll be a good way to start today's. Have a drawing finish for the day, or a little bit of a drawing. And then maybe I'll go ahead and do some more drawing outside of that. My goal is to get about 2 hours of drawing in a day, but lately it has been 0 hours of drawing in. And man, I've been sucking at life. How about that? Like I have been sucking at life. I've been a stick in the mud. Yeah, I think that's the phrase. Just like boring. I've been a stick in the mud, just doing nothing. And honestly, it was nice, but it has a downside to it. You know, you just feel like what? You just feel like, shoot, man, shouldn't I be doing something, man? I got things I should be doing. I can't just be sitting around doing nothing all day. And then that's nice. I'll give you that. I felt like, I started feeling like, man, I gotta do some jumping jacks or like check my bank account or start doing like something to make me feel like I've been doing things, you know. Hey, how you doing today? Good morning. Yeah. Yeah, so I felt like I had to be doing something. And I don't think I got his ear right, but that's okay. And then he's got some hair, I think, behind here. I don't know. I can't tell. See, I can't tell where his chin begins behind this mask. And I can't tell if, like, what's happening here. It feels like it's hair, but it doesn't feel like it's hair. The Hawks drawing. I don't know anything about a hawk, but I can go check. I have a Hawks drawing. Did I write Hawks? Oh, no, My Hero Academy. No, that's a long ways away. Jeez Louise. Like, I got all this before I get right there. Oh, my gosh. But, yeah, the Hawks drawing is there, but I haven't drawn it. My Hero Academia. I want to watch that anime. I have not gotten into it yet. You know? Here's something funny. I get a lot of anime requests, a lot of art requests, not a lot of art requests, a lot of anime requests, a lot of cartoon requests. And I get, you know, occasionally the offbeat character from like some video game, but I do not get like superheroes, like Marvel, DC superheroes. And a part of me wants a request like that, but another part of me is like, I don't know, man. I'm not really good at that either. I'm just kind of like the average Joe. Like I can just kind of like do a little bit of everything, but like I'm not really great at it. And just like with cartoons and anime, I think anime is a little bit more forgiving. Like you can do a little bit of your own like artistic flair. But with comics, I feel like I'll lock up more than anything. A hero that I feel like I like drawing. I don't know, man. I hate to be like generic, but I like Wolverine. But I liked Wolverine as a character before like Hugh Jackman and before he was popularized in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the movies. I liked him before that, so like it was not because of the movies or anything like that. It was just a character I liked as a kid. I actually have in the comic, I actually have I think I have like the first 100 issues or more of the Wolverine comic. I know I have at least. I believe I even have like I don't know. I have like some really old comic books. Like I have some comics of Wolverine, like his first appearance. Like I think there was a mini series called Wolverine. Like it was either Wolverine and Kitty Pryde or Logan and Kitty Pryde. I don't know what it was called, but I don't think they actually. I don't even think at the time at the time I don't think Wolverine had a name. Like they didn't know his name until I don't know when they didn't know his name. They didn't know his name for a while. They just called him Wolverine. But like eventually they gave him a name. They made a whole backstory about him. Sometimes I think the reason why I liked him as a character is because he had no backstory. You know, I think that's why I like some of these stories that that are just kind of like they don't complete everything. They leave the character or the series or whatever it is with an air of mystery. So you don't know everything about them. And I think that at the time, that's one of the reasons why I like the Alien franchise. That's one of the reasons why I like the Predator franchise. It's because you didn't know everything about them, and now they keep making sweet sequels and all these new, prequels and all this stuff. And now it's like I don't like it as much because you know too much. It's like I'm getting too intimate with these characters and I know too much about them and they're not as interesting anymore because now you've taken their mystery away. You know everything about them. Yeah. You just know everything about them and it's like they're not mysterious. And so I feel I don't like them as much. So I think that's one reason why at the time I liked Wolverine, and then they kept opening up more and more layers about his backstory, and it's okay. Like I think they did a pretty good job, but a lot of times a lot of times is they like totally just destroy the character because they just don't do a good write. They just don't write the character well or write the backstory well. And I think that's when you have to kind of do things with an air of caution when you are unlocking the history of a very well loved character, and you kind of like you do a poor job, you make it so unbelievable that it doesn't fit the character. I think it's like two things. Like it's either unbelievable or it doesn't fit the character. It's poorly written. So like, I don't know of any unbelievable ones. Oh, I think one. the one from Star Wars, Rey, how Rey ended up being like the daughter of, or the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine. It's like that just seems like a big that's just a huge out of left field. Like it's like, oh, okay, so that's why she's so good at the Force, or that's just as almost as unbelievable as like Darth Vader being Luke's father. Like that was thrown out of left field too. That was a pretty weird one. Oh man, I know what I'm doing wrong. Actually, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm doing something wrong, that's for sure. Anyways, yeah, I don't like it when they change the script. That's why beloved characters, man, you gotta be careful with them, man. It's almost better not to like not to spill the entire, like not to spill the beans on the entire character. It's almost better to like keep it mysterious, even if it's at the detriment of like kind of angering some of the fans, you know. I'd rather the fans be a little bit angry at like, oh, this, I can't believe you don't want to tell the backstory of this character. Like, man, it's touchy. It's a touchy subject, you know. And in my opinion, you know, like with Star Wars, like that character Rey is not even in. It doesn't feel like it's canon, because once George Lucas sold the rights to Star Wars, it was never Star Wars. It stopped being Star Wars after that. It became Star Wars fan fiction, and probably it became more like Star Wars fan fiction, because it's never going to have George Lucas's touch, even though I'm gonna be honest, when like if you watch some of his George Lucas's films, some of it is pretty cringe. It's very cheesy. He wasn't like a great director. Like it was cheesy. It had his style though. Like people didn't mind it because it was I don't know why people didn't mind it. He had a certain directing style that was very basic. And yeah, very basic and all kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm just rattling on. I don't know if any of this stuff makes any sense. But yeah, I haven't watched any Star Wars in forever. I think I didn't watch The Mandalorian. Any Mandalorian scene that I watch is on YouTube. I think one of the coolest scenes I saw in The Mandalorian when they had Luke Skywalker flying into this base, and he's just destroying all these dark troopers. I thought that was cool. Yeah, I'm drawing from a reference. Yeah, I'm drawing from a reference. This is Paul Gray from Slipknot. This reference isn't great. Things like edges they're like, it's a photo, and it's a professional photo. So professional photos are great for professional photos' sake, but they're not great for drawing, because there's a lot of things that are missing. Like everything right here is very soft. So the person that took a photo of Paul Gray right here did like a blurring effect. There's soft edges happening here. I don't know what's happening right here too well, because it's really dark. So I'm just kind of like lying a bit. I don't know where the bottom of his chin is at. Again, great photo, not necessarily a great image to use as a drawing source or to draw from, because there's information that is empty, like absent. And when you have absent information in a drawing, you have to make up things. And I typically don't really like that process of having to make up what is happening. We'll leave that for the AI to like make up stuff. Thanks for the follow. Yeah. So this is a Paul Gray from Slipknot. It was an art request. Someone requested him. I typically don't like doing, I don't know, I just don't like doing, this is like a request that I'm not really, I'm like, it's just something here. I'll do it, you know. Perhaps if I spent more time looking for a proper photo, and I saw some and I thought these would be pretty good. But like the character, the mask of Paul Gray from Slipknot is kind of like cartoonish, you know. It's kind of like scary and cartoonish, and it lends itself well for like, you know, performances and stuff like that. But like, because I'm drawing it, I feel like I'm missing a beat. I'm missing a note visually, because I don't know how much detail I want to give it. I don't know how realistic I want to pursue this drawing. And sometimes when you're doing a drawing, you should know where it should be going in the process or before you start drawing it. And that's one of the issues that I have with these art requests is I don't know where the drawing is going to go when I start doing my live stream. And that's problematic, man. It makes things challenging, because if you don't know where the outcome, like if you don't know the outcome of the drawing, it can really slow you down. And that's where I would have to draw this person multiple times before I got an idea. Like, okay, I kind of know where I want to go with this type of drawing. Like, I want to go more realistic with the mask, or a little bit more cartoonish with the mask, and maybe a little bit more realistic with the shading, you know. And that's where I would have to like draw it multiple times before I get an idea of how I want things to look. But what are you gonna do? You can't really. You can only draw it once. Well, I could draw it multiple times, but like as far as art request is involved, I only draw it once. So I only do it once, and if it turns out well, it turns out well. If it doesn't turn out well, then I'm just going to have to accept the fact, or accept the pill that I just made a bad drawing, and it'll just be logged into one of those things where I made a bunch of, like, one of my bad drawing days. Or I can just, whenever I have if I didn't do a good job on my drawing, I can say, well, I just wasn't having a good day, you know. And people can say, like, well, how can you not have a good day? Well, you know, some days you're like not performing at 100%. Some days you're performing at 100%. Some days you're like at 10%. And you hope that you're going to be doing something. You hope that you're going to be performing at, like, you know, at a higher level, but some days you just don't, you know, and sometimes it's going to take a while. Like, today's going to be one of those days where I'm just not going to be like, whoa, amazing. And I'm starting to wake up now. It's been almost an hour and a half since I woke up, and which is great for the drawing, but like for the first hour and a half, I'm just like, the first hour of the drawing, you know, you're just, if another thing is, here's my little pro tip. If you want to be an artist, or if you want to draw, don't draw when you're tired or when you're just waking up. You won't know it until you start drawing, though. Like, here's what happens. Like, I was up for like 30 minutes before I started this live stream. You know, I had a cup of coffee, and I thought, well, let's start drawing. And then I start drawing, and I'm like, whoa, I am still tired. I am still waking up. And The thing about when you're waking up is you're not really observing. You're not really present. You know, you're not present. Have I drawn Itachi yet? No, I have not drawn Itachi yet. I am. Where's Itachi? Itachi. Oh my gosh, Bud. I have taken. I was. Itachi's way down there, man. So I haven't drawn Itachi yet. I'm sorry, man. I haven't done a live stream in about a week or two, actually, or close to 2 weeks, almost a week and a half. I got real sick when I started getting momentum. When I started getting momentum with my live streams, I got sick. I got real sick, and that Sunday night I got real sick, and I just didn't do my live stream, and then at the next day I just slept all day, or as much as possible, as much as I could. And then after that, I just didn't get back on the bat. I just didn't get back on the saddle, man. I didn't get back onto it. And because of that, here I am, really, really late, not doing my live streams. What's an art fight? I've heard of is that like a art battle? Like, what do you do? Or is it literally an art fight where you have like you're using brushes and pencils as weapons? But yeah, I got really ill, and I just didn't feel. It took me a while, and then I had a whole issue with my scheduling. Like, whole issue of getting my sleep schedule back on track. My sleep has been really messed up as of lately. It was real bad. Like, I slept a lot, but I was going to bed really late, but I was getting a lot of sleep. And yeah, so it's just been a whole issue. Just a lot of things that just kind of slowed me down. And hopefully I'm back at it. Hopefully. Drawing by drawing their OCS original characters. Is that what you mean? Is OCS original characters? Is that short for original characters? That's what I think it is. I mean, we'll see. Yes, original characters. Okay. And you just draw on top of their original characters? Is it like done on like a... Is it done like on like a server where someone can draw on the same drawing? I've seen stuff like that. I'm not familiar with them though. Like, I don't know if that's what you're referring to. So I think that's what you're saying is like you people will draw on top of their old characters or something like that. I don't know. So all in all, I think this turned out okay. Not great. I was really worried, but I think I was able to kind of pull it in. Okay, art fight. I'll have to look that up. That'd be kind of fun. I'll look it up. Do people do it on like Twitch? Is it like a live thing? You know, is it like a thing that people do live, or is it just done outside? Or is it like, do people just draw other people's original characters? And is it like kind of like you just draw someone else's character but only in your style or something, or in a different style, you know? Okay. Consistent all month. Okay. But Done live. I missed that. You mainly draw other people's characters. Yeah, I haven't done. I have not. I'm not familiar with that. I will look it up on Google Art Fight. I remember there was these charities I used to go to where you donate like paintings or artwork, and if the piece didn't get bidded on or didn't win an auction, it would get destroyed. I used to do that frequently. Then I stopped because I had to auction on. I had to buy my own piece back because it was going to get destroyed, and I didn't want that to happen. And I was really pissed about that. That no one auctioned or bought the piece or wanted the piece, and I was like, man, forget this. Forget this charity. I'm not doing charity. I used to, at one point I would do a lot of I would donate artworks for charity often, and then it just became to the point where I just felt like people would just they would just take my artwork for granted. You know, I was like, oh, your artwork's worth nothing, but it's worth enough for charity. I'm like, oh my gosh, thanks. Oh man, I hope good luck for your cartoon career, man. What's like uh um what seems toxic? The art attack or the people asking me to donate artwork for charity? It might have been toxic. I don't know. Um, I have like 2 minutes left. I don't know what I'm going to do in that time frame. I wanted to get this shading like this, I wanted to get the tone of the background a little bit darker, but I don't know if I'm going to get that. It happens. You know, you do what you got to do, or you try to get as much done as possible. All in all, I think it turned out okay. I didn't get everything that I wanted done with it, but that's okay. But I managed to dial in something, and I managed to dial it in and get something of value out of it. Still not happy with it. Still don't like this side here. I think I made it too wide. There's a lot happening on the cheek here that I did not really account for. It's darker over here. The ear looks terrible. There's stuff happening here that I don't really know if that's hair or if that's just shading or part of the ear or something. Could be a multitude of things that's happening. I don't know what's happening. We got a little bit of hair here, and then we're just going to go ahead and shade this area here. Anyways, I don't know. I have 37 seconds, and I try to keep these. No, I don't sketch with pencil. I usually just do with pen. I just don't like pencil like rubbing away in the sketchbook. Like I probably would prefer to sketch with pencil, but I just don't like it way it rubs away in the sketchbook. Like after a while, the graphite starts to smear, and it just doesn't look good. I just don't like it, you know. I guess perhaps since I'm doing a lot of drawings, since I'm doing a lot of drawings, I can kind of get away. I might be able to get away with doing pencil because I wouldn't have a lot of the smearing of graphite, because I'm going to be going. I'll go on a new page every day, but I just didn't like it. I didn't really like that. And maybe I might go back into it. I don't know. You know. So I mainly just at this point I just use pen, which can be a good or bad thing. I think the good part is it trains you not to worry about mistakes. The bad thing is if you make a mistake and it's really, really hard to correct, you're just gonna have to accept that you made a mistake. Essentially. Yeah, I could erase something. I tried not to erase though. Um, I I um I tried not to erase. Um, I am weird. I don't like erasing because I don't want to get into the habit of constantly correcting things. So like once you get into this habit of like, oh, I made a mistake, and you erase, like you erase it because you need to fix that mistake, it gets easier and easier to kind of erase things, because you've set up a habit like, oh, if I made a mistake, I will fix that mistake by erasing and correcting the problem. And you get into this habit of always correcting quote unquote mistakes. And you can correct your mistakes without having to erase everything. And then you can become really, really good, and you'll never make mistakes. I don't know. I won't see that happen for quite some time, but yeah, I do draw in pencil and I do erase, but I only draw in pen. I draw in pen a lot during my live streams so I can avoid the psychology of erasing, because if I, when you're drawing live, you can get kind of nervous. You can get kind of worried about making mistakes, and then you make a mistake during a live stream, and then you decide, oh, let's go ahead and erase this and make it a little bit better and tweak it, and all of a sudden you're 30 minutes in and you haven't even started your drawing because you're so worried about making mistakes. Like when I set this drawing up, I knew that I set it up wrong, and I knew off the get-go that I'd be struggling with it, and I just had to accept that there'd be just a level of errors, a certain amount of mistakes in the drawing inherent, and I just had to accept that and keep going, keep pushing the drawing forward, because I know it's just easier that way for me. I don't know. It's just easier for me. Like, I can't explain it. Because I know, like, when I draw on Photoshop and you have that Control Z. Oh no. All right, I had to do like a CAPTCHA thing for a second. I know that when I was drawing on Photoshop, they have that back button, Control Z, and I know that I would hit Control Z a lot because it was super easy. Like I would make a mark oh, that mark's not correct. And I just hit Control Z and it erases it. And I make another mistake. Like Control Z, Z, and then all of a sudden it removes it. I'm like, oh man, thank goodness I had this Control Z. And then like 30 minutes happens, 40 minutes happens, and I don't got a lot of the drawing done because I keep hitting Control Z. It's just so easy to do. All right, I think I got to get going. I could keep playing around with this, but I can keep making this darker and messing around with certain things. I know I would like to get this darker, but maybe I'll just spend a little bit more. Just kind of go around. I don't know. Maybe 5 more minutes, and then I'll go. 5 more minutes. Who knows? I don't know. I'm at a crossroads. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if I want to keep drawing or I got to go. I think I should go. Let's put there we go. All right. Thank you so much. I got to go. I'll see you all tomorrow. Fingers crossed. You all have a wonderful day.